But dude, tell me, like, obviously it's been a quite productive last couple of months. So, like, I've seen that you're smashing it at 83 kilos. Give me a rundown. Like, how's it been for you?
So the reason why I contacted you was through one of your Instagram posts about palak paneer. We talked about it last time also, and that time in my life it was like I visited the doctors and my visceral fat was too high. So and they were like, it's going off the roof. So my visceral fat was about 11ish, but this time it was going to 17. So I was like, I need to take control of it. They took my blood pressure. Was under control. The diabetic indicators were on the control, but the fat levels were too high, and I was a bit scared about that. So that's when I contacted you. My weight then that time was about 96.3 kilos, and I thought, let me give this a shot because I've tried a couple of things, and I have been on this roller coaster ride where before COVID I was into a lot of bulking out. I was into lifting a lot of weight, but then again COVID happened, everything died down, the motivation went down, and then used to work with some trainers based out of India who used to come online and coach me in how to do certain exercise, but then there was no other parts around it. With Vaenu and you, at least the consistency has been there. So on both terms, saying that, all right, I want to check your weight, and your app is like wonderful. It connects to all my devices. So it's like, even if I don't update it, it gets updated. So that's one of the wonderful part about the app, that it works in a seamless fashion. I just need to start my exercise. I have my variables and it updates automatically. Even the weighing scale, if I stand on it, it's connected to Apple Health and it updates on its own. So that was really good. I was not in too much of walking, frankly, and I hated it because it's like, where am I going with this? I'm just aimlessly on the road doing nothing. And I'm like, and when I got the challenge of completing 10,000 steps every day with Vaenu, I was like, all right, let's start with it. And I had ordered a treadmill so that I could work on it. And if you have something at home, at least the barrier to go to the gym has gone down drastically. So I have my gym behind me, so that barrier is gone for me. That there is no excuse that I can't make like 10 minutes also and just lift some weight and then go back to work and then come 10 minutes, come back again. So I had that kind of an opportunity, and I was blessed with this house and my room so that I could make it on my own. But with Vaenu, it was like, you have to do 10,000 steps, and he was after my life. You have to do it. And that is something that I needed at that point in time, that you have to do it. And when I started seeing the progress from 96 to 94 to 92 to 90, and when I came close to 90, I was like, dude, I can reach 80s. And I was like, yeah, that was one of the goals, because last time I was in 80s or 89 I reached was when I used to be engaged with somebody else based out of India, and I reached that time, but it took me like 12 months to do that. I was consistent, but then I went home, went to India for about 3 weeks and came back, and I lost everything then. So that was a thing that I was like, I can achieve 80s, 89s. And then slowly and gradually I went to India, and I was like, I'm seeing progress. My mom is like, you have lost a lot of weight. What are you doing? And it was hard to say no to her, whatever she was cooking and all that. But still, and I went on a wedding. I ate sweets there, but I still kept on going. And I was like, Vaenu increased my target for steps from 10,000 to 15,000 when I was at the wedding time. She's like, I know you won't be able to make it to the gym quite often, but let's go from 10 to 15 and see what works. The first week I went to India and I enrolled into a gym. So I was hitting 15K, plus I was going to the gym. So the deficit was quite high. And I went from like 89 when I went to India, and I left India at 85.6, which was like a major thing for me. Like within 4 weeks, I lost almost like 4 kilos. And now coming back from India to Sweden, the progress has been slow because I'm still taking time to adjust to my life. In India, I didn't have to do anything. Everything was ready. I didn't have to clean. I didn't have to cook. I didn't have to take care of anything. Everything was taken care of. I just had to work out, come back home, have my food, prepare the breakfast, because obviously my parents are vegetarians. So even if I eat an egg, so I had to prepare it myself. But that was about it. Rest, all the food was given to me. And with things in India, with quick commerce, everything was at your just order it, you get it in 5 minutes. I'm like, that's brilliant. And you don't pay much, like 20 pence for deliveries. I'm like, dude, we need this everywhere, but it is what it is. So yeah, Greek yogurts were staple. Low-fat Greek yogurts were staple on my diet. I took some protein powders from here. I packed it as like, I have a lot of it. Let me pack some and take it to home. I had a issue with my heels. I had plantar fasciitis, and there's a heel spur that has been growing on my heel, left one. So I have a lot of pain when I sit for a while, but when I walk and when I run, at least that comes down drastically. And I was always fantasized by, obviously, when we last talked about lifting myself and doing a single pull-up was one of my challenges. I was like, let me try and see if I can do it this time. So with Vaenu, at least, he started off with like, do with the bands, try the bands and try and do it with that. But I'm still not there. But I felt that the resistance band that I've been using, I was using 15 kilo ones, now I'm gone to 5 kilo one. I've reduced on that part, so the resistance has gone down and I feel much more lighter, I feel much more stronger in terms of doing a lot of things. So the journey has been great with it. I'd say there are sometimes delays, but everybody has a life. I don't expect him to answer me then and there, but when we are on a conversation role, it becomes more evident that he's there to support.
Yeah, but it's always a tricky one. But like, as long as we got that like consistent churn of conversation across the days, across the weeks, across the months, that's where the accountability really rolls in. Like, how's the food side been for you? I know obviously we connected over palak paneer, but how's that been for you?
Frankly speaking, I have ice creams, I have rasmalais, I have gulab jamuns, and while I was in wedding, I had everything I could. But then it was more to do with, all right, I'm planning to have these kind of things during the day. What can I cut it down with and say, all right, I know that it might be like 100, 150 calories. So what less can I do or what more can I do so that the deficit is always there? So that kind of a mindset when I went with Vaenu was like, you have to plan it out. If you are planning to have this kind of frenzy outing, just plan it out. I'm not saying no to it. It's just that the planning has to be in place, that you can visualize that you can still have things, but not cut it down completely. I was like, all right. So the first trip that I did on this program was to Stockholm. And I was like, I'm pretty scared because I know if I go out, I'll eat a lot. He's like, all right, what are you planning to eat? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know which restaurant I'm going to go. I have 5 people, 6 people who are locals there. They would take me. I'm like, all right. Like, they would be drinking. He's like, all right, I want you to order this if you want to drink. He asked me my preferences. What do you drink usually? Like, I'm a beer guy. I can drink beer. I can drink wine. I like old fashioned. Like, stick to old fashions. Like, all right, no more than 2. Like, all right, that's also done. And try and eat something which is heavy on protein and with veggies. Don't try and order any carbs items, so because you're already having drinks, so the carbs would automatically come in. So don't go with any carbs. Like, I can try and avoid it, but let's see how it goes. And amazingly, with even 6 people around, I was able to say, I'm just having a single old fashioned and a steak with some veggies, and that's all. And that was like, all right, I could manage that. And art of saying no to people, especially our relatives, is a tricky one. Over a period of time, they have started to realize, all right, I've stopped drinking because I have some medical issues with my feet. So I've been trying to sell them that I'm on a medication, that I can't have alcohol because I'm on a medication, so I can't have alcohol. So they're, all right. So anytime I go out, they're like, at least have a beer, 0 alcohol. I'm like, I don't know if it's 0, so I'll have Coke 0. I'll stick to it. So it's been tough for me to travel. It's been tough for me to manage these things, and with the promotion and with the kind of work that I'm into, travel increasing, I think support of Vaenu and the entire team behind Autonomy has been great. So yeah, it was perfect.
That's really, really good. And like, where you're at right now at 83, I know that the long-term goal is to be in the right BMI and like kind of get to that goal. So like, how far do you think you're away from your ultimate goal?
I'm halfway down the road. I know this because I started off with 96.3 with my BMI in the range of obese, touching the second level of obese. And now I'm into overweight category, so I'm really proud. I reached yesterday, day before yesterday. I'm like, yes, I did it. I changed my BMI range from obese to overweight. So that's really, really good. And now from overweight, I need to go back to the healthy one. And I know I've lost 13 kilos. Now I need to lose again more 13 kilos to achieve that kind of the range where I change again the BMI scale from 29.9 to 25, at least 24.9. So to reach 24.9, I need to be at around 70 kilos, 69.8 to be precise. I'm a numbers guy, so I look at these drastically. I'm like, this I have to do. So yeah. I need to know. I know that 13 kilos from 96 to 83, and from 83 to 69 or 70 kilos. So yeah.
Yeah, and at least you know where you're going. Then you've got that clear, concise goal. And how's the 13 kilos felt for you? Like, have you noticed any differences? I know you mentioned about the pull-ups there, kind of getting easier with the bands, but like, how has it impacted the way that you work, the way that you are?
Number one thing is I went to India, did a lot of shopping. Now I have to shop again because my size is reduced. This is an extra large from Uniqlo, and I recently shopped was large on Uniqlo, and now I think I might need to go on a medium size. So that's one thing that I need to consider again. It's a good thing that I have to shop again. I love shopping. Uh, the other thing is that I wanted to do for a pretty long time. I don't know why there has been a mindset that I'm not able to run. I'm not able to run faster. So my target, when I started, I bought this machine for treadmill. It had like different programs. I could do 5Ks, 10Ks, and whatnot. I was like, let me try and do a 5K under half an hour. Now I'm right now at a range where I do a 5K at about 42 minutes, 43 minutes. I started off 5Ks at 60 minutes. So from 60 minutes, I'm at 42, 43 minutes. I need to come down to 30 minutes. I don't know why, but there is a mindset that I need to come down. It might be because I see a lot of people doing that, or maybe because I always wanted to achieve that number. No idea, but it is something that is in my mind. And I went out for a outdoor run. So I usually walk on my treadmill because the weather in Sweden is like crappy. It's a lot of wind sometimes, and then sometimes it's lots of rain. Sometimes it will be a lot of snow. So I got a treadmill. So I'll like, forget it. Let's cut out the weather component also. We can do it whatever we want to at home. So I was like, let's try and run. I was with my wife, my kid, and let's try and see how long I can jog at least, because jogging was even a challenge for me. So I did 2.5 kilometers while jogging, and then I felt like my heart rate is at 160, 169. So I was like, let's get it down. Let's walk now. Let's bring it back to 130s in the range, and then we go back again. So I was not able to run for a kilometer, and I was like, I'm jogging for 2.5 kilometers, and I'm not feeling tired. I'm in a walking pace. I can talk with anyone while I'm jogging also. That was a bigger challenge, and that kind of lightness and that kind of feeling on my joints, knee joints, and feeling that weight, it has reduced a lot. It's still there, I know. I can still feel when I jog or walk for an hour that I'm feeling there is some kind of cramps happening in my legs. But I think the rest, everything has been going fine with that kind of lightness. And obviously I get complimented a lot. Even on a camera, I was on a call with a customer called Echo. They make nice shoes. They're Danish people. I met them online, and I usually have calls with them online. You lost a lot of weight. Like, can the camera also tell that? Like, yeah, it does. So like, all right. Yeah, I lost about 13 kilos in about 4 months. So I'm really proud of it. Yeah.
No, that's really when you start being able to do those active things and have like a pursuit. I think what you're saying right now, and I think it sounds like you're very like curious about let's try something. You said that about the walking. I want to, and I think that's a really like a highly commendable kind of attitude to have, especially with this diet and nutrition stuff. Is like, let me just see.
Yeah,
I'll just do it and let's see. Because I think that's a lot of people get caught out in the I won't be able to. I can't. Whereas actually you're like, let's see, and then you'll find out either way, right? So no, it's a really, really big positive. And walk me through like how the home nutrition has been for you. I know you said that you've had the sweets, stuff like that, but like how has it been able to integrate into your day-to-day life?
So the best part is I'm the cook at the home. So my wife doesn't cook. My kid eats what I have to prepare, and I am a non-vegetarian. I eat anything and everything that moves. My wife is a vegetarian with eggs, and my kid is not an Indian now. She is like more Swedish now. So she wants Swedish food. So she likes the hamburgers, hot dogs, and whatnot. I don't like those stuff. I like Indian stuff a lot and Indian non-vegetarian stuff a lot. My wife likes vegetarian stuff a lot. So I have to cook like 3 meals 3 times a day. And that's like too much to ask from my side. But breakfast has always been for me a single whole egg, 100 grams of egg whites for me, and 2 slices of bread with some hot sauce. So that had been consistent for 3 years now. I didn't change that, and Vaenu said, do not change it. I'm like, fine, that is perfectly fine for me. The second thing he said that measure your food. Now, I had a scale that I used to measure food on, but the battery died, so I never replaced the battery, and I was like, forget it. Like, I can start with weighing the food, but on a longer term, I know this can't work for me. So I need to guesstimate, or I need a kind of a rule which will follow for me in my entire life. I can't take a scale to a wedding and say, oh, I'm measuring 50 grams of rice or 100 grams of cooked rice. I can't do that. So, and I've done that already, and I've seen that getting a scale is easy, measuring is easy, but then while pouring, there is like 10 grams or 20 grams up and down. I'm like, who would care for that? I can't look at this. It's like this is the one plate rule saying there should be this much half protein, 1/4 veggies, 1/4 carbs, and whatnot. But I was like, all right, let's do that. And obviously, when you cook food for 3 people 3 times and 3 different foods, you can't have like the option of having veggies cooked separately, carbs cooked separately, meals cooked separately. So the only thing I do is that I'll prepare something which my daughter can eat, and I'll veganize it by adding paneer for my wife, chicken for me. So like palak paneer, I'll put paneer in hers, chicken on my side, and I would give sometime the chicken to the kid so that she can eat it. And then I'll have 2 rotis. That was fixed for me, and I knew that it was 50 grams of flour. I weighed it once, so I was like, I know what is it. So 25 grams of bowl, and I have a machine that makes rotis for me, so I don't need to worry about it. So it's always consistent. So I was like 25 grams, one bowl, it's ready. So I can make 2 rotis that I need, and then I integrated like half a cucumber in my diet. And in my every picture that I used to share to Vaenu, he's like, you like cucumbers a lot. I'm like, that's the easiest source that I can add to my food. It's like a salad, it's water, it's vegetable. You count it as whatever you want to, but it is giving me my kind of half a plate or quarter of a plate of veggies. I can't cook everything right now, so it is. I'm sticking to it. Like, all right, whatever it works for you. It works for you. So even if the cucumber is like $3 or £3 a single one, I'll still get it. Like, don't worry about it. Let's just go. And a single this big cucumber lasts to us like a day, because I started adding to my food. My wife also starting adding to my food. So she also has this kind of a thing that, all right, if you're adding it, can you please give it to me also? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, why not? And then my daughter also. So now I have to use 2 cucumbers a day. So which is like, all right.
And now you're spending $50 a week on cucumber.
$50 a week on cucumbers. In India, it's cheap. A pound for a kilo of cucumbers, but here it's too expensive. So I'm like, all right, it is something that I can add easily on my plate, and it is filling, and gives me my intake of fiber and whatnot. And then I also added as a snack, I was sometimes having watermelons, or sometimes I used to go with the low-fat Greek yogurts with some frozen berries, which are easy to find here. So I was like, let's stick to that, and that has been my staple. Anytime I feel that I had eaten a lot during lunch, I would try and have dinner as frozen berries and yogurts, and that's it. So that kind of switch and mentality that I don't need to have it. It's just that my mind is saying you want it. It's not your stomach saying you want it. It's just the mind playing the tricks that, oh, you see a bag of crisps in the house and you're like, should I or shouldn't I? And then you're like, I'm not actually hungry. It's just for the mouth that it wants to churn and churn the food around, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, just for the mouth.
Just for the mouth.
I like that one. Yeah. And I think that you mentioned that a few times. It's like the give and take relationship with food. It's like if you're having more at lunch, have less in the evening. If you're going to India for a wedding, have more, do more steps, and have less. Whatever it is. So that's a really important, massive thing for the future as well. You would do it in your finances if you're a numbers guy as well. You have to take it out of here. You have to take out of somewhere to buy those cucumbers, right? So it's always a give and take. So that's really awesome. Yeah. Is there any things that you've had to over? You sound like a very pragmatic guy, but is there any type of stuff that you've had to overcome? Any struggles? Any other challenges that you've had during the journey?
Well, it was a new way of communication, so I would say that it took me time to adjust to this kind of way of communicating. Earlier, there was like instant replies, but here it has to be sometimes a day or 2 days, and sometimes no response. I'm like, Vaenu, am I doing right? He's like, on a Wednesday, he would send me a feedback saying, if I'm saying nothing, it means you're on the right track. I'm like, just say that, yes, you're on the right step. It would help me a lot to understand that all right, because there's sometimes when I would not post and he wouldn't ask for things. So the communication way has obviously improved a lot over a period of time, and I can understand more what he's going through, and he can understand from my side what I'm going through. So that kind of appreciation of each other, saying that, all right, life is happening to me, to him, and understanding that. This week I was a bit disheartened. I'm like, my weight is not going down. I'm like, I'm plateauing. I'm not seeing, and it was like 84.1 on Monday or Sunday, last Sunday, it was 84.1. I was like, it is not going down. It's not going down. It's not going down. And he was like, don't feel disheartened. It happens. There is a plateau. It would clear it out. I'm like, all right. And the day I posted it, next day, I weighed myself like 83.5. I'm like, yes. Yes, yesterday it was 83.3. Like, you're just worrying about something which was not actually thing about to be worried. Like, I have seen every day going either up or down. 2 days consistently, it has never gone up. It has always gone on the downward trend. So if I see something which is like not moving at all, I'm like, I'm worried now. What is happening? So yesterday he sent me the new calorie intake list, worked out the nutrition. That's why I'm having my breakfast right now.
Yeah,
Nobody else.
when you see that, like, kind of that you do A plus B equals C, right? You see the results, you see the actions, and then you see the weight just trickle down. As soon as you start to see something that you've done all the things, but that doesn't limit the same result, you're like, am I broke? Is it broke? Like, what's happening? Is there, do I need to change anything? But it's just the more weight that you lose and the lower that you go, the more the fluctuations start to be a big factor. Because at the beginning there's lots of water retention, inflammation, lots of body fat, and as you're going lower, your body is more susceptible to storage of water, especially if you're traveling as well.
Yeah.
And if you lose 10 kilos and much more, you actually burn less calories as a human as well, right? So like, you generally will see more fluctuations, but then over the course of a week it'll clear out if everything's going well, or a course of 10 days, depending on how your digestive system is. But, yeah. Well, that's really, really positive, dudes. I'm really happy to see the big changes.
Yeah.
And anything from my side, any feedback that you could give me, anything that we need to improve upon? I know I'm guessing the communication styles and stuff like that. I'll have a look at that. But is there any other feedback?
No, nothing. I would say even the communication has been good, but obviously a day or two. Sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't post anything for a day or two. Yeah, but it's okay. So last night I had like a bowl of salad and I went out. I was like, I'm too tired. I did what a day before yesterday I did like 22,000 steps. Yesterday I was close to about 19. I was like, I can't cook now. So I told my wife, let's go out for dinner and let's get some takeout. I'm like, I don't even have the energy to go inside and sit and eat food. So she was like, all right. So she got a burrito, I got a salad. Like, I can make those choices. I don't need to have the burrito wrap. I can have whatever is inside the burrito and switch everything and say, instead of rice, give me salad, give me turkey, give me a side of guac or sour cream, whatever. But I knew what I need to do in the back of my mind, saying that, all right, this is what I need to have. And then halfway down the meal, I was like, I don't think I can finish it at one sitting. Earlier I could have, but now I was like, do I need this much food right now? And it's like close to 9, and if I sleep down, it will still be in my body in the morning. So I was like, let's not do this. Let's save it and let's see if I can have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it having cold salads.
Yeah, no, do I. I think in those type of places as well, when you do exchange them out, you do get a lot of volume, like compared to maybe your normal cooking. If you are doing like a sauce or a dish, like we went out the other night. And I've been getting pre-prepped food from a company, and they've got loads of sauces on the seasoning for like 450, 500 calories. And then I went out and got 500 calories, and the portion size was double. And I was like, oh, it's because it doesn't have any of the additional bits in. And I was like stuffed after the meal. So like, yeah, as soon when you start swapping it out for that burrito, or you have the salad instead, or the little ingredients that are, you end up, and you teach yourself that what you need versus what you want. You have a very powerful combo of eating less, which is always positive.
Yeah, and don't feel hungry as much as I used to, or hungry, or my mind playing tricks on me. Oh, you need to munch something, and that munching has gone down. So I don't have samosas. Sometimes I would have it. I love pani puri, so I was in India. I was like, I want to have it.
Got to.
I can't just stay without it. But 5 or 6, I was like, all right, that's more than enough. Earlier, I used to have 100, and I was like, I could still go on. We used to compete on this, who's gonna have it. Obviously, in my uni days, it was easy to do that because we were walking a lot. We were without bikes, without cars, and we could do that. But now it's like, oh, 5, that's more than enough. I just have some water and then be done with it. And the other thing that I've been also included is the water intake. It has gone up with that kind of thing. With Vaenu, he's like, you're feeling hungry. Why? Either you're not drinking water enough, or you have not eaten a lot. Try some water. If you're feeling hungry, just have some water. Let's see how it goes. Tried for 2 days. I'm like, I'm not feeling hungry. It was just I was dehydrated. I was not feeling fine. So water kept me full for a longer time. Then he said, if I was like, can I have Coke Zero? Because I like some bubbly stuff. Like, can I have a can of it? He's like, yeah, go for it. Fine. And then I incorporated that in my meal during the day because that kept me full for quite some time. And like, I was feeling hungry. I had a zero Coke, and I was like, perfect, works for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are certain nuances that might work for me, might not work for somebody else. But again, I've been blessed by having my own place to work out, place to cook food on my own, and not be bothered. But I think getting control on things has been a lot more effective for me now with autonomy. I would say autonomy as a name suggests being autonomous. And I think when I was on my own, and now even I don't look at the plate, my mind automatically goes and says, oh, you need 2 rotis, you need this much kind of sabzi, you need this much kind of cucumber. It's almost like my brain has been preconditioned to say, all right, this is what you need to do, and this is what has to be done. And with the kind of work that I'm in, it's quite idiotic. Huh, beta? 5. Oh, iPad 6.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good. And if like you know what you're looking at with your plate automatically, and those automatic decisions, it's less manual labor
Yeah.
in your brain, and that can occupy and can give you more space to do other stuff as well, right? When you're not thinking about food.
Yeah, that's true. And now she's starting school. She started school on like Thursday, and she went to a new school. So we were anxious that would she be able to adapt herself. And now when she's gone, I think she has liked it. Probably the consistency that was missing when I came back from India has gone up. I'm doing like every morning. My routine used to be like walk for 30 minutes on the treadmill, come in the gym, work out for 45 minutes, spend hour and 15 minutes in total in the morning, and then carry out the day. Because if I do it in the morning, I know it's done. I don't have to look forward to do something in the evenings or something. But then if there is something, let's say I missed on the steps, so I will get on the treadmill for 5 minutes during the lunchtime, 5 minutes after the work, or 10 minutes in the night after the food. So I would know that I need to complete 6 kilometers or 7 kilometers on walking. That's my 10,000 steps. And I would make sure that during the day, either I start with 3 and do 1 between the intervals, or I do all 6 at one go and then carry out on my day. Because I want to complete those before I get into my daily life, because then I know if I don't have time, I've done something in the morning and it's done and dusted with. 4 days of workouts works for me. But if I'm not working out, I still get up at the same time. So I'm like, let's do 12,000 steps. Why not? In the morning, let's do 6 kilometers to 7 kilometers. And I've been trying to increase that over a period of time, so that if I go for let's say half a marathon or a 5K someday in future, when I'm 40, still not 40, fingers crossed, when I'm 40, so I could complete it. I don't want to look at the time. I don't want to look at anything. It's just that I could complete it. I am turning 39 this Wednesday, so it's an achievement that I am at this weight. And this was the weight when I went to university. I was like 18 years old. Then that was my weight, 83 kilos. Now it's at 39. I'm at 83 kilos. So it's a big testament to you guys and to Vaenu especially. You has worked a lot on me and kicked me on different sides, saying you can't do this. I was adding like coriander green chutneys and like, how much calories in these? I don't know how many calories in these. I can't count everything. Like, no, you need to tell me once. I'll not ask again. All right, homemade. I said yes, it's homemade. So I used to have earlier cucumber, onions, and tomatoes cut with green chutney in it as a side salad. And then he used to say, how much in the green chutney? Is there olive oil in it? I'm like, no oil. Why would I add oil to a chutney? To increase the glossiness? No, I don't want to do that. And he was like, no, just need to know that is there something that you have added to the food? And then he said, he never asked me that question again. He's like, now I know this is your calorie intake, so, and you're on the right track. And the kind of feedback through Loom videos, he's like, it's like having a personal trainer giving you the feedback that you need in those 3-4 minutes, and you set for the week. That kind of motivated me a lot. That kind of interaction with statistics in place, saying that this is what you've done a good job, you've done a bad job, you've done a crappy job, whatever it is. Luckily, I have always received praises from his loom videos. Last was the one that he was like back in my nut, saying that you need to come back to reality. It's been 3 weeks now, you have been from India, now you need to come back, you need to be the Tarun that you were, that every time you go you have to complete your steps. Okay, that's what I need to do. But that was a reality check that I needed, and he gave it to me. And let's see how it goes. I've enrolled with you guys for 6 months. We are already down 4 months, another 2 to go. How better we get, or probably I might extend it and see where we take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, the world's your oyster now. Like you've got the secret sauce to going wherever you want to with that health and BMI. If you've got the number of the 69, then we work until we get that number, and then you've got that ability to then learn how to sustain that, for the rest of your life, which is the most important part as well. Yeah. So really good job, dude.
Thanks, man.
What you got planned for the rest of the week? What you doing this weekend?
I need to take my daughter to one of her friend's birthday in about 40 minutes. So that's one of the tasks that I need to do. Then I need to shop for the week. It's only Sundays or Saturdays that I need to shop. Saturdays is either cleaning day, Sundays is the shopping day. So that's always fixed. Luckily, I only have to do alternate weeks because we have somebody who comes and cleans our house. So
yes, yeah, same. It's the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever.
I was talking to my wife. Let's call her every week. She's like, you want to just not work or what? Because that's my department. So she's like, I'll do the dusting around the house. I'll just wipe everything down. You just do vacuuming and mopping and clean the toilets and everything. So the dirtiest deeds I had to do. So
yeah.
I'm done with it yesterday, so I don't need to do it today. But today it's daughter's day out. Yeah,
the modern man. Yeah. I know we get cleaners every day, Monday to Friday. Because we the dogs, they shed hair and it looks like a snowfall every morning. So we're so glad for our cleaner. Although she does start to misplace things and put them in wrong places, and we're currently finding stuff. I couldn't find the shaver this morning, and I found it in the kitchen drawer. I was like, kitchen drawer.
So you're based out of Dubai.
Yeah. For now, anyway.
Lucky you. It's still cheap to get a maid in Dubai. It's not cheap to get a house help.
No. I mean, we're very, very, very lucky. It's even more lucky if you have a room for them to stay, like a house help fully. That's when it becomes. Obviously, same in India, right? Everyone has one. Everyone has 2 or 3 or a driver.
Three. My dad is a driver. We have a food cook. We had a house clean help. So we have 3. So at least that was really good when I was in India.
It's the best life.
Best life. You get paid in Sweden, you stay in India. I don't like the traffic. I don't like the weather.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah. I do. I appreciate it, and I look forward to catching up when you hit that BMI of 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you need, just drop me a message. I'm happy to help out, and congrats on the work so far, dude. It's really good to see.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot, and thanks to Vaenu also. He was who's like a gem of a person, and I would not be here without his help. So yeah.
Appreciate it. Both of you done a really good job. So thank you.
Thanks, man.
See you soon. Right.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.